Hello and welcome back to the Chandler Burton Podcast. I am your host, of course, Chandler Burton, and I want to thank you for joining me here on this podcast. Today I'm really excited to talk about my most anticipated movies of 2021. To get a couple of things out of the way first, kind of some house business, house cleaning business, I guess you could say, is I hope everybody listening had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope everybody also had a wonderful New Year's. As I mentioned before in my last podcast, if you listened to my life update with the Cyberpunk 2077 news, I did mention that I was taking some time off for mental health and that I would be uploading whenever I would feel like I have an idea or if I feel motivated to do so. And you know that feeling that you get, like that really good feeling, like I have a good idea. Well, I had a good idea to talk about these upcoming movies that are going to be coming up here. Hopefully this year. We don't know, of course, due to the pandemic, if theaters are going to open up for a while. I assume they will. We have a vaccine now. I've read some things about it that it has worked and that it takes a little bit for it to get going. I've heard some people still got COVID with it, so it's really just a matter of trial and error. But the most important thing is that everybody is safe, everybody is okay, and that everybody is well taken care of during this time. Christmas for me was pretty good. It was a very adult Christmas this year. It was funny, I got a pretty decent sized box and I shaked it and I was like, oh man, I wonder what this is. It was a pair of socks and a Chipotle gift card. I also got some sweatpants and I got a really cool Darth Vader speaker so I can listen to music and podcasts as I'm working on my room or doing chores around the house, so that's been really helpful as well. We also watched Pixar's Soul, which was a really good movie, one of Pixar's best in my opinion. I really enjoyed what they did with that. And then we also watched Wonder Woman 1984, which I'm going to be honest with you, it was absolute crap. Like, I am not a fan of that movie. Loved the original film. I thought it was a huge step forward for the DC universe, but I was very much let down by that movie. There's like not even an aspect of that movie that I enjoyed, and I mean that sincerely. Except Gal Gadot. Her performance as Wonder Woman is very sincere. You could tell that she really cares about the character, but it just kind of went all over the place for me. It just didn't really work for me. So honestly, that was probably the most disappointing part of Christmas for me, was Wonder Woman 1984. But other than that, it was a pretty laid-back day. And then for New Year's, I actually went to bed pretty early. I actually fell asleep watching Tenet for the fourth time in a row. I saw the movie in theaters back in September during Labor Day weekend. I had like a 3-day weekend. And it was... watching it the first time, we saw it kind of late, so it didn't really make much sense. So I was like, man, I don't know if I like this movie. Then I bought it and I watched it a couple more times, and I finally think I'm starting to understand what the movie's about, the premise, the whole inverted time. So the more I've watched it, the more I have really come to like that movie. And I actually am in the process of buying every Christopher Nolan movie so that I can watch them and kind of do a podcast of my Christopher Nolan movies ranked from best or worst to best or best to worst. So I just got Insomnia, I just got The Following, and I got Memento. I got to get a couple more movies, and then I'll have every one of his films. So I'm excited to do a podcast about that. During this time, I also started streaming on Twitch, which has been really fun. I don't have a huge audience right now, but if you do want to follow me on Twitch, it is just twitch.tv/blackdude19. So again, twitch.tv/blackdude, and that's just BLACKDOODE, and then the number 19. So again, twitch.tv/blackdude19. Sorry, my recorder fell over, so I gotta readjust that here. I apologize. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so again, I just want to throw that out there. If any of y'all like to stream on Twitch or just want to come hang out, I've been playing The Last of Us 2 again. I didn't do a review for that game because again, it was really just controversial, and I was going to do it with my sister, but her and I just have way different schedules, and it just hasn't lined up. So I'm playing that game again to get a better review on it, and maybe I'll talk about it again once I beat it on Twitch. So. Definitely come hang out with me. That'd be a lot of fun. That would be really cool. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode today. So again, as I said, I'm going to be talking about my top movies for 2021. Now, a lot of these movies actually on the list were supposed to come out last year, but of course, due to COVID-19, they have been pushed into this year. So there's a lot of films on here that are actually supposed to be last year. But since they are coming out this year, I'm just going to count it as films coming out in 2021. I thought about doing like a top 10, but I realized there's so many movies that I'm looking forward to that there's no way I can do a top 10. So I decided to do 25 films that I am looking forward to. Again, some of these movies may be pushed to 2022. Some of these movies may come out this year on streaming. I know for sure, like HBO Max and their movies from Warner Brothers are going to go on their streaming service. So some of these movies are going to be coming out this year. Marvel, I'm not entirely sure because Black Widow didn't go on Disney Plus. I'm actually really surprised about that. So all these are subject to change. All of these are, of course, my own opinion, what I'm looking forward to, and I hope you guys enjoy the list. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast here. And I hope maybe you guys will find a movie on here that you didn't know was coming out this year or you didn't know was coming out at all, and that you can look forward to it and enjoy the world of movies. So I am very excited to talk about this list, and we'll go ahead and get that started. And also another thing really quick is that these are not in any particular order. These are all just 25 movies that I'm personally excited for. And again, there's no ranking from best to worst or most excited to least excited. So just to keep that in mind as we go through it here. And I'll also give kind of my opinion on the movies themselves, what I think is going to happen. And so, yeah, sit back, relax, and we'll go ahead and continue with the list, starting with number 1. So number 1 is the Spider-Man 3 film. So this is the one that's going to be with Tom Holland. There's no title for it yet. But I am so looking forward to this movie. From the rumors that I've heard and the stuff they've confirmed, it pretty much confirms that we're getting a live-action Spider-Verse. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it is without question the best Spider-Man movie ever made, and one of the best movies ever made. It's such an amazing film. Everything about it is just so great. So definitely check that movie out if you haven't seen it. I think it's on Netflix, so definitely watch it. But apparently we're going to get Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back as the other Spider-Man for like the final battle of the film. It's also been confirmed that Otto Octavius from Spider-Man 2 is going to be returning, and I think they've confirmed a couple other people as well. Oh, Jamie Foxx's Electro is going to be coming back. So it's interesting that they put in villains from those two universes, so that pretty much confirms I think we are going to get some kind of Spider-Verse. If not in this movie, it's going to be set up for the future. I think Spider-Man has another film. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get a Spider-Man live-action Spider-Verse. And they got to do everything they can to top Endgame, because that's just such an incredible film. So that's my first movie, Spider-Man 3. Apparently called Spider-Man like Homeworlds or something. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but really looking forward to that. The next one on the list is Halloween Kills. I am a huge horror fan / thriller fan, and I love the original Halloween. I think it's one of the best, I guess you could say, horror movies of all time. I don't really consider it a horror, but I know some people would, so I'll just put it in that genre of horror. Obviously, the other films following it, you have the original Halloween, then Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, The Curse of Mike Myers, and H2O, and Resurrection. Like, I did not like any of those movies. I thought they were all just really bad. But this other one that came out here in 2018, like the reboot sequel, was actually pretty good. I know a lot of people had problems with it, but I thought it was a really good film. I thought it was really enjoyable. Had a lot of suspense here, and apparently this one, David Green, the director, did say it's more violent, it's more thrilling, and it's everything you want in a Halloween movie. So I'm really looking forward to that. So again, that's Halloween Kills, and I think that comes out this October. So I'm really looking forward to that. Sticking in the horror genre, I am really also excited for Candyman. I'm really excited because I've seen the original. It's been a long time. I definitely need to watch it again before this one comes out, because this is the sequel to the original Candyman. I'm very excited because Jordan Peele is attached to the project, and he created, of course, one of my favorite movies of all time, Get Out, and a movie that I really enjoyed, Us, and he is working on his new movie as well. So I'm excited that Jordan Peele's attached to it here. The trailers look really good. Everything about it looks kind of creepy, and that's what I like. I like a good thriller, so I think Candyman will be a good thriller, and I think it does come out this October as well. So hopefully theaters will be open, and Halloween will be a good time to go to the movies. The next movie on my list is Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which, it's funny, I know a lot of people probably don't know this. The first Venom movie was very strange to me. It was a very weird film. There are parts of it that I really enjoyed. I was like, man, I really liked the dynamic between Eddie Brock and Venom. I thought Venom was absolutely hilarious, like to the point where I was squealing because I was laughing so hard at Venom. I was like, dude, this guy's hilarious. Everything else about it, though, it was very hit or miss. The action was okay. I felt like it was an R-rated movie cut to be PG-13, and so there's so much more they wanted to do with it, but I think they didn't have the confidence to make it rated R, which is fine. I mean, as long as the movie's good, I don't really care about the rating. But this one with Carnage, I think Carnage will be really cool, like see them go head to head. So hopefully they learn from their mistakes, can maybe craft a more cohesive story, and we'll see a really cool anti-superhero movie. I think that'll be really fun. Okay, the next one on my list is A Quiet Place Part 2. This was a film that was supposed to come out last year, but of course due to COVID-19, it was pushed back to 2021. I think it's coming out, I think it's April. I could be wrong, sometime April, summertime. So the original film, I always tell people, I think this is a great gateway into horror. If you're looking to try to get into the horror genre or thriller genre, I think this movie is perfect. It's got a really cool premise. It's not terribly scary. It's more stressful and thrilling than it is scary. But definitely, the premise was such a good idea. It made a huge impact in the deaf community, and everybody's looking forward to what they're going to do with Part 2. I think Part 2 is going to, it may be better than the first one. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Either way, it's a sequel that I'm totally looking forward to. Next one on the list is Dune. I know a lot of people are really excited about this one. After seeing the trailer, I didn't know much about it. A couple of my buddies were really excited for it. When the trailer dropped, I ended up being really excited for it as well. It's got a great cast. It looks amazing. It's actually done from the same director that did Blade Runner 2049. And that movie was really, really good. The atmosphere of it, everything about it looked great. It was shot well, directed well, great story. So I forgot his name, but you'll have to forgive me on that. But he knows how to direct a good movie. I've looked up his work, his filmography, and so far all his movies have been hits. Blade Runner didn't do so good in the theater, which is unfortunate. I don't know if it's because of the super long runtime or not, but man, what an experience Blade Runner was. So I'm super excited to see what he'll do with Dune. I'm really looking forward to that. So my next movie, which actually may be one of my more anticipated films, is Bob's Burgers, the movie. I have not heard anybody talk about this film. I mean, there hasn't been a trailer. They've mentioned it a few times on their social media that the movie will be coming out April 9th of this year. It was supposed to come out July of last year, but again, obviously due to the pandemic, not able to do that. I love Bob's Burgers. That's probably my favorite TV show. Even my mom likes it. My sisters like it as well. It's going to be like a musical adventure. I actually don't even know what the plot is, and there's still no trailer. So we'll have to see what happens. But again, I'm sure it will be funny. I'm sure it will be a great time at the theater. This is also the second film after the Simpsons movie that's getting a film based on one of their IPs, which is a hand-drawn animated film, which you actually don't see a lot nowadays. Everything is computer animated, so it'll be really nice to see a hand-drawn cartoon film be back in theaters. I'm really looking forward to that. And I love the Simpsons movie, so I'm excited to see what they'll do with the Bob's Burgers movie. Next on the list is Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible is my favorite action franchise of all time. It is all the films except number 2. I could pop in and watch it anytime. The first one is such an iconic movie. Mission Impossible 2, I don't think it's as bad as everybody says. It definitely has some flaws, and it's my least favorite in the franchise, but it still has some really cool action scenes, and I don't hate it, but I wouldn't want to pop it in to watch it. It's probably a 6 out of 10 for me. Mission Impossible 3 is a really fast movie. J.J. Abrams directed it, so it's just a really fat, like if you've seen like any of his other movies, like for example Force Awakens, that movie just moves. Like he doesn't really he just fills that time with just with everything going on, and to me, I think it's really good. J.J. Abrams is a hit or miss director, but I feel like for Mission Impossible 3, it was really good. And then, of course, Ghost Protocol is amazing, and then Rogue Nation was just an absolutely incredible film, and then you get Fallout, which, in my opinion, is probably the best action movie that's not a superhero movie. Fallout was such a a joy to watch. It was such a great film. So I'm super stoked for Mission Impossible 7. They're shooting it back-to-back with Mission Impossible 8. So I don't know if this is going to be a 2-part movie or if they're just going to be doing Mission Impossible 7 and 8. But either way, I'm super stoked, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring to the table with this one. All right, so the next one is going to be Uncharted. This is the video game This is going to be the video game adaptation of the video game. Sorry, the movie adaptation of the video games. Tom Holland is playing Nathan Drake, and Mark Wahlberg is playing Sully. If you play the video games, you probably know who they are. They're the main characters. So, I mean, look, obviously I'm very excited for it, but I'm very nervous because obviously Uncharted is like my favorite, besides The Last of Us, of course, is like my favorite game franchise. Like all of them, like Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, Lost Legacy, Golden Abyss, even the book, Fourth Labyrinth, all of them are just, it's so good. Like, I love Uncharted, and I love speculating about Uncharted. I'm excited to see what they'll do with it. This does take place with a younger Nathan Drake, so I think they want to be able to build on the franchise with this. I am very, of course, nervous because the games already play like a movie. So I'm curious to see how they'll adapt and try to make it bigger and better than the games. Because Uncharted 4 was a cinematic experience. I mean, all of them are great, but if you play Uncharted 4, it is like you're playing a blockbuster film, and it's absolutely incredible. I'm still excited for it, and I hope it's good. I really hope this is good, because, we haven't really gotten any good video game movies. Sonic the Hedgehog was good, but I really want a legitimately good video game movie, and I really hope Uncharted will be that one. Okay, so number 10... Still got like 15 more, so bear with me here. Number 10 is No Time to Die. I'm a hit or miss fan of James Bond. I love Casino Royale. I did not like Quantum of Solace. I really enjoyed Skyfall. I did not like Spectre. And I'm looking forward to No Time to Die. It seems like every other James Bond movie I like. And No Time to Die lands on the spot where I hope I should like it. So it's also going to be the longest one. It's like a 2-hour and 50-minute movie, so it's super long. But again, James Bond is cool. I've only seen the ones with Daniel Craig, but the action looks fun. And since I've seen the other ones, I'll definitely want to check this one out as well, see how they end things off. All right, so number 11 is going to be Black Widow. I mean, again, this movie should have been out. The movie went out for like a year in May if it would have came out, but I'm really excited. I've mentioned before to a lot of people, I wish they would release this movie probably around when Civil War came out, because this movie takes place between Civil War and Infinity War, and since we all know, of course, spoiler alert, that Black Widow does die, it's not. I feel like the movie's not going to be as impactful as we want it to be, because we know what her end game. See what I did there? we know what's going to happen to her. So to me, they got to find a way to tell that story. They got to find a way to make it feel like we really care about the characters in the film and care about Black Widow. I mean, again, she's a cool character. I never thought she'd get her own movie. I thought she for sure got like a TV show on Disney Plus. But I am looking forward to it. I love most of the Marvel movies, so I'm sure either way it'll be at least a decent film for when it comes out. The next movie I'm looking forward to is Godzilla vs. King Kong. Now, I really enjoyed the first Godzilla, the one that Gareth Edwards directed back in 2014. I really liked Kong Skull Island. I know people had some problems with it, but I thought it was a pretty decent film. I can't say anymore. The humans are kind of weak, but I just liked it. I thought it was just really good. And then with Godzilla King of the Monsters, that movie was definitely a Taco Bell movie, which is, Taco Bell is good, but it's not good for you. That's kind of how I see this kind of movie. Like, it's not great, but was I entertained by it? Absolutely. I was very entertained. So, we've been waiting for a Kong vs. Godzilla movie for a while. I think it's going to be super epic. Again, this movie does go on HBO Max, so I'll be able to see it either way, so I'm really looking forward to that film. I hope it's good. I mean, it will probably look good. I'm just worried about the human characters in the movie. Alright, so the next movie is Free Guy. This one I didn't know if I want to add it to my list, but I watched the trailer again, and I really enjoyed it. It's with Ryan Reynolds, and he's stuck in a video game world. I love Ryan Reynolds. I think he's hilarious, and so this looks like just a fun time at the movies. Just fun, like turn your brain off, have some popcorn, and just watch the film. So I'm looking forward to it just because I'm ready to have a good laugh, and I think Ryan Reynolds is great. So I'm really looking forward to that movie. The next movie is actually shocking to me because I'm not a huge fan of this franchise, but this movie really piques my interest. So the next movie on my list is Spiral from the Book of Saw. Now, I don't mind the Saw movies. They get progressively worse. I mean, I guess I haven't seen them in a while, so I guess I would need to rewatch them. But what caught my eye with this one is that Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson are in it, and they're not really known to do horror, and I don't know this movie is going to be necessarily a horror movie, but it looks really intense, and it's kind of weird seeing Chris Rock in like kind of a serious role. He's still funny in the trailer, but I don't know. I'm really interested to see how this is going to work out. He's producing it, and he's in it. And again, Chris Rock is known for comedy, but I feel like people give comedians the benefit of the doubt. I mean, they can be funny, but you see other people, like for example Adam Sandler with Uncut Gems, how he just transformed into that character. So we'll see what Chris Rock can do. Samuel Jackson's always great, so it's a movie I am looking forward to, and hopefully it's better than Jigsaw that came out a couple of years ago. Alright, the next one is Ghostbusters Afterlife. I enjoy Ghostbusters for what it is. I love the original. Second one is okay. I mean, it is what it is. And then a lot of people hated the Ghostbusters from, I think it was 2016 with Melissa McCarthy, and I didn't hate that movie, and I think a lot of people think I'm crazy. It's not great, but it's definitely not as bad as people made it out to be. I mean, people, I think, just complain because they're women and they feel like it should, stuff like that. Just stupid, feminist stuff, and that doesn't matter to me. Again, as long as the story's good and as long as I have a good time, then I'm going to enjoy the movie. And I will say I enjoyed the movie. If it came on TV, I'd probably watch it. I don't own the film, but if it came on TV, I had nothing else to do, I'd probably watch it. I mean, it's not that terrible. But I am excited for Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is apparently the third movie. It's got Paul Rudd in it. It's got, I think it has that kid from Stranger Things as well. That was also in the It movies. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks cool. We only have that one trailer, so I don't know much about it. But I hope it's good. It looks kind of creepy from the trailer, and I kind of like that vibe. So I hope it's good. I'm looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife for sure. Okay, the next one on my list is another Marvel movie. This is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I do not know anything about this character. All I know is that it's Marvel, so I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy it. And it's also from the director that did Just Mercy, which, if you haven't seen that movie, I think it's a really important movie to watch. It has Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx, and it made me cry. It really did. It hit me in ways that I never thought would hit me. It's a very powerful film. I think everybody should see that movie at least once. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it sounds like a kung fu action movie, and those movies are always super sick. So, again, it's Marvel. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it's enjoyable. I really do. Okay, so we got a couple more here. I had to do 2 pages of this because my handwriting's so bad and it's so big that I had to write on 2 pages for my list. So, all right, the next one is Space Jam: A New Legacy. A couple things about this movie. Number one, I remember I saw this movie as a kid with my mom. I think I was 3 at the time. I don't really remember it that well when I saw it in theaters. But watching it again, I'm just going to be honest, Space Jam does not hold up the way people think it does. I remember some people saying it's one of their favorite movies of all time, and that's fine. But I really think it's based on nostalgia because it's Looney Tunes, it's Michael Jordan, it's 2 things that we love come together. But rewatching Space Jam, it to me is such a, I don't want to say mess because it's technically a kid's movie, but it's just so, it's kind of boring and it's not really put together that well. It's got some funny moments in it, but overall it's just not, I mean, again, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not as good as I think people make it out to be. And with Space Jam: A New Legacy, I mean, I'm excited. LeBron James was probably the best pick they could have picked for this. He's one of the most iconic basketball players. And, I mean, this is going to be for like a brand new audience. This is not technically a sequel, I don't think. I think this is kind of its own thing. And from the clips, not clips, but from like the still pictures that I've seen of it, I mean, it looks okay. I mean, I need to see a trailer first, but it'll be nice to see the Looney Tunes again on the big screen or HBO Max. So I am looking forward to it. Again, I don't think Space Jam is the best movie ever, but For nostalgic reasons, I will definitely see Space Jam: A New Legacy. So the next movie on my list, it's a movie that I just found out about a couple days ago, and it's called Old. This is from M. Night Shyamalan. This is his brand new horror thriller film. He hasn't made a movie since Glass, I don't think, so this will be nice to see him back in action. His movies, again, are hit or miss for me. Unbreakable, I think it's a great movie. The more I watch Split, the more I enjoy it, so I really enjoyed Split. Glass was a big disappointment. They could have done a lot more with that. It's okay, but it was definitely disappointing, especially after Split. So I don't know anything about Old. It just said on IMDb that the plot is unknown at this time, but the picture looked cool, and I hope we see a trailer soon. And overall, I like M. Night Shyamalan's movies. He's had quite a bit of misses, but his original stuff is usually pretty good in my opinion. So I am looking forward to that. The next movie is called The Green Knight. The Green Knight is a horror medieval type thriller from A24. They made like Hereditary, Midsommar, Uncut Gems, those types of movies. The trailer is great. I had my buddy of mine show me the trailer like last year, and I really enjoyed it. So I hope it's good. I hope the trailer looks cool. Definitely look it up. It's really kind of an unknown film. I don't see a lot of people talking about it. Again, it's called The Green Knight, and the company is A24. So definitely give the trailer a shot if you're interested in that. Okay, so we got a few more here. So the next movie is a surprise to me because I did not like the original. The original is, well, not the original. Well, the movie is The Suicide Squad. Now, I've been saying now a lot. I apologize. But, so Suicide Squad back in 2016 was probably one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen. And I use that term lightly because they're kind of anti-heroes. But the only thing about that movie I enjoyed was the actual team. I felt everybody had pretty good chemistry. I felt like everybody liked each other. But the movie was so convoluted and it was so boring. And the first 40 minutes was them just setting up characters. And I hate comparing it to Guardians of the Galaxy, but like they did such a better job of introducing the characters, introducing the plot, and everything about Guardians is just so great. Suicide Squad, I felt like has more iconic characters, but they couldn't do it right. So I am really excited because James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy, is doing the Suicide Squad. And again, he's really good about with characters and telling a good, fun story. So I feel like we're going to have a home run with this. I think it's going to be good. I guarantee it'll already be better than the Suicide Squad we got back in 2016. This one's like a war movie, so again, if anything, it'll be at least entertaining. Suicide Squad from 2016 wasn't even that entertaining. So I hope this one's good. I am looking forward to it. So we've got a couple more on my list. The next one is Mortal Kombat. It comes out in April. Haven't seen the trailer. But, Mortal Kombat's pretty fun. I mean, the games are pretty cool. So I wonder how the movie will go. I think it's from James Wan, who created the Aquaman movie. And I don't hate that movie. It was pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it could be bad. It could be good. I'm in the middle saying it might be just all right. So we'll see how that one goes. The next one also stars Ryan Reynolds. It's the Hitman Wife's Bodyguard. This one's going to have Samuel Jackson as well. The first movie is actually pretty funny. I watched it with my dad about a week ago, and him and I were laughing pretty hard. It's a pretty good movie, and I had a feeling a sequel was going to be happening. Then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, it is going to happen. So it's just like a buddy comedy movie, and again, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson are hilarious. So I am definitely looking forward to that. It's good just to go see a comedy. I'm not expecting anything great. I just want to laugh, and I just want to have a good time. And I think The Hitman's Wife Bodyguard will deliver on that. Okay, so we got three more. The next one is going to be The Eternals. This is another Marvel movie that was supposed to come out last November. But again, COVID-19. Gosh, COVID-19 taking over everything nowadays, I tell you. But I am looking forward to The Eternals. Again, it's a Marvel movie. It's a bunch of characters I don't really know, but that doesn't mean I won't enjoy it. Again, I go back to Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe they made me like a tree and a talking raccoon. And they could probably do the same thing with The Eternals. What shocked me the most is that Angelina Jolie's in it, and she's a big-name actor, and if they're going to make more of these movies, that's weird to think Angelina Jolie is going to be in, like, the next Avengers movie. That's really weird to think about. But I don't know much about The Eternals. I know it takes place in space, and I think it's supposed to be a comedy. But again, I love Marvel. There's only like two movies in the universe I don't really like. So I always look forward to their movies. They're usually just a lot of fun, and I always go see them. So I am looking forward to that movie. So my last two are kind of maybe a little bit controversial, especially one of them. The next one on my list is The Matrix 4. I actually just got done watching The Matrix with my dad. Again, it's been a while since I've seen them. The first one, I gotta say, is really entertaining. The Reloaded and Revolutions were definitely hit or miss, but Matrix 4 will be really interesting here. I have a feeling it might not be very good, but I am holding out hope to say that it is. Keanu Reeves is in it, and I love him, but that doesn't mean the movie may be good. So I hope Matrix 4 is good. I think it comes out in December, so we got some time. So there won't be a trailer for a while, but I hope it's good, because Matrix 1 was really good, but we'll see how this goes. We'll see how that goes for The Matrix. Alright, then my last movie is not going to be released in theaters. It is going exclusively on HBO Max, and that is going to be the Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't know if some people are going to count this as a movie, because it did technically come out in 2017. But long story short, I think most people know this, but I'll kind of give a rundown of what happened. Zack Snyder, his daughter committed suicide, and he had to step away from the project. Obviously, when something like that happens, you got to step away. And then Joss Whedon from the Avengers movies came in to try to fix it or film his parts, and there was like drama on set, and what we got was an okay film. I think a lot of people give Justice League so much crap. It's somewhat entertaining. It's definitely short, but there's parts of it that I enjoyed. Again, I like the team aspect of it. But I'm glad Warner Brothers is giving Zack Snyder a chance to show his movie. I think that's a really cool thing that most people wouldn't do. And after this, Zack Snyder's done. He pretty much confirmed saying, I'm not doing any more DC movies. It's not going down the route that I wanted, so I'm just going to be done. So I was like, that's fair. So the Justice League Zack Snyder version is going to be like 4 hours. It's going to be broken up into 4 episodes that are an hour each. I'm really excited to see more of the character development. I'm excited to see more of Cyborg. And I'm really excited to see what they'll do with Darkseid and Steppenwolf. I hope they do a better job explaining those characters, because I feel like we didn't get the best character development for Steppenwolf. But I am very much looking forward to this movie. I liked Man of Steel. I didn't hate Batman vs. Superman. Definitely needed some improvements. And then Justice League obviously was a mixed bag for me as well. So Zack Snyder is not my favorite director in the world. He's had some okay movies. 300 is probably his best movie. But overall, I'm just excited that he gets the chance to do his version of the film. And I'm really happy for him. And that's one of the reasons why I bought HBO Max, was so I can watch the Justice League version that Zack Snyder wanted to put into theaters. So that's it. Those are all 25 movies that I am looking forward to. I hope you guys find a movie on this list that you enjoyed and that you can look into. Thank you again for everybody listening to the podcast. Again, if you want to join me on Twitch, it is twitch.tv/blackdude19. And until next time, that has been the Chandler Burton Podcast. Take care.